it up for Anthony LeDonne, everybody. Let him hear it. Show him love.
Thanks, guys. It's really nice. Thank you. You guys are a good-looking crowd tonight. Anybody here on a date? Just all... No? This material's going to be great then. I think dating's pretty hard, especially when you're married. My wife and I have been together for 18 lovely years. And yeah, I still don't understand the idea of the date night. Doesn't make sense to me. I thought we dated so that we could get married and not have to date again. But we still do it because she likes it. I don't get it. Like, as a married guy, it feels weird. I don't know if anybody's married here, but a date night kind of feels like a victory lap. Like, what are we doing out here? We already won. You know? Look, all I want to know is why we have to get all dressed up and spend a lot of money just to go to this restaurant to have this fight. Every time. We could have done it at home, not in front of everybody else. Sorry, we have this fight every single time we have date night, but 18 years, it's been good. My wife is actually a writer. She writes books that people buy. Pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. She's a romance novelist. So she writes romance novels, or as I like to call them, wish lists. I support it, I love it. I read every one of them, but it is hard. Number one, because I can't read. But number two, it feels like every book is just her writing about the life I haven't given her. You know? Like, I'm so proud. She's published 37 books. Her last 3 you can buy on the shelves in Barnes & Noble. Yeah. And the last 3 titles were Passion on Park Avenue, Love on Lexington, and Marriage on Madison. We live on 42nd and 10th. Like, those are 2 totally different worlds. She just turned in her latest manuscript, and the working title is Hopeless in Hell's Kitchen. I get the hint. People often confuse romance with erotica. Happens all the time. I was at a party recently, and this lady came up to me, and she's like, "So your wife writes smut?" I mean, it depends on your definition. I don't know if you've ever read Bridget Jones' Diary and got horny, or got all hot and bothered reading The Notebook. I mean, I've never jerked off after I watched When Harry Met Sally. But I do get a little tug in the trousers whenever Fast and Furious comes on. So. I'm happy that I can actually help with her writing sometimes. She actually likes to ask me questions. But it feels like there's an ulterior motive. You know, like she'll ask questions like, what's the fanciest restaurant in New York? I don't know, Le Bernardin. Or the most romantic city in the world? I don't know, Paris. Most expensive car? Bugatti, I think. Are these going in your book or what? No, just things I wish we had. A little on the nose, babe, but I get the hint. People ask if I'm the inspiration for her characters, and I love that question because it flatters me every single time. And I gotta say, yes, a version of me. A taller version, a stronger version, richer version, more educated version, someone who knows how to tie a knot, or be on a boat, or who owns a boat, or who's been polo playing before. Basically, if you take away all those things, it's basically just me, every single time, which is pretty exciting. A female friend of mine asked me, have you guys ever had sex in the shower and it's been so great she had to jump out and write it down? And no. Never happened, not even once. If anything, the opposites happened a bunch. You know, like I'll read some of her books and I'll learn a new trick, and then later that night she's like, well, that was great, where'd you learn that? Page 46. 18 years we've been together. Little known fact, when we first got together, I was underage. It was a little bit of a scandal. She plucked me from all the 11th graders and had her way with me. I mean, in her defense, she was in 12th grade. And I did help her with her calculus homework. So yeah, I know. It's a little prig quote. What else? Oh, I'm half Italian. That's cool. Which is why I only speak with one hand. And people always ask, like, what's the other half? And I don't like to say it, because it's kind of loaded. It's German. You know, Germany, right? People always want to know, like, were your grandparents born here or there? And the answer is there. When I was a kid, I was like, Grandpa, didn't you know? And he's like, well, we just thought they were all going to Florida. Yeah. He had a pretty shitty German accent. No, to give him credit, he was born here. He actually fought in the war for the right side. He did get a free ride home, though, to go visit the parents. I know, that was a little rough. The Italian side's a little bit annoying, if you ask me. I don't know if you've ever been around people who share your same cultural heritage. They always try to outdo each other, you know? Like, I'll hang out with my cousin Vinny. And I'm like, Vin, pass the prosciutto. And he's like, it's prosciutto. I'm like, dude, you're adopted. Thank you guys, you've been so great. You're a wonderful night.
Anthony LeDonne, everybody!